This video is not for whales and dolphins. It's for you, because you are just like me. Average That Gamer here, and maybe after this next opinion, maybe you won't feel like you're just like me. So here it is, I'll pull the plaster off. I am just not excited for Caesar right now. And it's not because she doesn't look interesting and cool, and from the rumors that I've seen, it seems like she's going to be really good as a meta unit, despite the apparent nerfs to her kit. Remember, she's not out yet, guys, so it's all subject to change. But that doesn't really matter that much, because it feels like she's entering the game at a really poor time for a new character for us free-to-play or low-spend players. Allow me to explain by contextually breaking down what has happened in the game so far. In patch 1.0, we got 2 attack agents in Ellen and KQ1. So people who played the game from the start and got pretty lucky, or spent money, would have 2 teams with 2 DPS agents. Then, in 1.1, we had Chingy, the first limited stun agent that you could use on either your Ellen or Juyuan team, followed by Jane Doe, an anomaly agent who essentially functions as an on-field DPS and unlocked an anomaly-focused team. Now, all of these characters ran with good supporting A ranks to help you build teams around them, and that's what I, and I'm sure many others, are doing right now. We're using our resources to build up our teams around our limited S rank characters, and I'm not seeing an obvious place for Caesar. Let's imagine a likely scenario that with the available resources for pulls that the game has given away, and most players being either free to play or low spenders, if you've been playing from the start, you probably got either Ellen or Juyuan. Then you probably got either Chingy or Jane Doe. I lost 2 50-50s, and I got Juyuan and Jane Doe. And you can mix this up a bit, but you will likely have gotten 2 out of the 4 available characters, potentially 3 if you won one of those 50-50s. Now you could build a team with A rank supporting each of these 4 characters and have them do a good job. You could argue it's a little harder with Chingy as she's a stun unit and not the damage dealer herself, but it's still very possible. And this isn't mentioning the fact that you will also have S rank standard characters in the mix too, that you might be really happy with or fit well with the limited characters that you've got. For example, Lycan on an Ellen team. And yeah, that's right, I remembered how to say Lycan, because it's the same as like and subscribe to support small creators like me on YouTube. This is also your reminder that you're probably not subscribed, so go ahead and hit the button. Thank you for all your support so far. You guys are incredible. Back on topic. For me, right now as a player, I have 2 teams and they are functional, but I'm looking forward to building them up, making them stronger, character leveling, skill leveling, and drive disc farming. And I know that the 2 teams I have built have good enough synergy to clear the harder content right now, and I'm building them. So why do I want Caesar? I mean, I do kind of want Caesar. I just don't know what I'll do with her. Seth is doing a cracking job on my Jane team, and I don't know where she fits on a Juyuan or Ellen team as an upgrade, which kind of means that I think that she'll get left behind a bit. She'll be really good, I'm sure, but the thought of building up another character right now feels a bit unnecessary, when I'll hopefully have all my other characters getting towards being in a really good spot. It really just feels like whichever character dropped at this next point is really going up against it, because even if she's amazing, the content right now just doesn't require her. Now I know that there will be plenty of people out there really excited for Caesar, and that's great, I'm happy for you. But for a lot of us, I'm sorry Caesar, it's not you, it's me. It's the timing. I just don't have the resources for another waifu right now, and I want to spend your banner saving for the future. So I guess where I'm going with this is it really wouldn't surprise me if Caesar is the most unpopular character we've had so far. Not because she's bad, but purely because of the timing. I think she could also be the best unit in the game by a clear mile, and even then, I think she still could be the most unpopular character so far, purely based on timing for the average player. As we get further into the game, there's more and more chances as well that my average account is no longer a representation of the average player, as different players can make different decisions and accounts will start to look quite different. But let's take a look at my account just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking an average account would look like. I'm happily building up my 2 teams. Team 1 is basically done with Juyuan, Ambi, and Nicole, and Team 2 is very much a work in progress with Jane, Seth, and Lucy. But even so, I cleared Shiyu Defense 7 and the disputed Node 8 without too much bother, and shh, don't tell anyone, but I don't think I'm very good at the game yet. Now, I want to go faster, make my team stronger, and more ready for upcoming endgame content that's going to get harder eventually. And there's a real chance that due to weakness and resistance in Shiyu Defense, I will at some point need a 3rd team. But hopefully when that happens, that's when a new character like Miyabi will come in. I already M6 Tsukaku while I was losing my 50-50 to Ellen, so I'm kind of ready for that. Caesar is going to be a defense agent. She will function supportively, lifting the team around her up. But I'm good for right now. Now at the top of this video, as per usual, I said that it was not for whales and dolphins, but It feels like that's what Caesar is aiming for. The game, since starting, has presented us with a bunch of options for building up a few teams, and now with Caesar, it's giving us units to make those teams even better, like with Caesar being a flexible, supportive unit. And she's following the most hyped up character in the game so far with Jane. Now, of course, from a free-to-play or low-spend perspective, Caesar certainly does appeal, and if I had the polychrome, I would consider her. But considering the fact that it's taken me roughly 20,000 polychrome per character so far, there's just no way I'll be ready. The only way I get Caesar is if I get incredibly lucky, and that will feel the same for quite a lot of us, I imagine. And as I pointed out, she feels a tad unnecessary right now. As the game isn't too hard, some of my characters are barely built. And I'm doing fine. And as much as I said that I would like to get better and upgrade my characters to make them stronger, it seems unlikely that Hoyo is going to massively ramp up the difficulty anytime soon. It's like an eventual thing. They want players to feel like they're making progress, and a lot of the player base for this game and Hoyo's other games is on mobile. And as much as I said that the game wasn't too hard right now, if I was playing super casually on my phone, on a touchscreen, I don't think I'd be anywhere near clearing the harder content, and I imagine those more casual players aren't watching these kinds of videos. But I'm actually super curious. Do let me know if you play on mobile in the comments down below. And I guess a character like Caesar with the additional safety of a shield might appeal more to those players, as they may be starting to struggle with the content. Anecdotally, it seems that the interest in Zenless Zone Zero has not been higher since release due to Jane Doe's release, and anyone who has polychrome and doesn't have their two teams completely set at this point is probably going to blow their load on Jane. Their load of polychromes on Jane before the end of her banner. So it really just leaves Caesar out in the cold. Anyway, in a couple of days after this video, we'll get the special program for 1.2, and that will give us an opportunity to see a bit more of Caesar. And to be clear, I'm not a meta-only player. I want to pull for waifu, darn it, and I don't think I've seen enough of Caesar yet to sell me on her. Sure, she's symmetrical and conventionally attractive, but come on, aren't they all? Now, let's touch on newer players before we wrap up too. Of course, new players may have started and missed their opportunities to get Ellen or Ju Yuan, and they'll be sitting on a bunch of polychrome and really want their first limited S-rank agent, and that makes sense to me. And you can build a whole team around Caesar, but without other S-ranks to deal the damage that is required, maybe she might end up feeling a little lackluster. If you don't really have any other S-ranks, now I'm not saying she'll be a bad pull for a new player, I would just exercise a bit of caution, as from what we know of Caesar's kit, which is of course all subject to change, she is meant to buff herself and others, but her damage scaling will likely not be enough to carry a team single-handedly. In terms of long-term forward-looking investment, it could very well be the best play for a new player to get her, but I would hedge a guess that it might not feel particularly satisfying, as it won't be Caesar doing the damage. All in all, it just feels like poor timing for Caesar. I wouldn't be surprised if she performs poorly as a character when she releases, but is actually goated in the future, with many players potentially begging for a rerun. As to whether or not free-to-play or low-spend players should consider her, I feel like we have really solid A-rank supports right now, so she's got a mountain to climb in terms of impressing the player base enough to make me want to pull. So let me know down below, guys, what are you planning to do with Caesar? Have you been saving? Or did you blow it all on the rat and it's just not an option to get her? Or are you just not interested? Another video of mine should pop up now if you're interested, and I am off to actually go and clear some of my side quests in the game after being called out for laziness on stream. As always, remember to pull responsibly and like and subscribe for better than average luck on your next pulls. Oh, also join Discord. Bye.